Let's clear something up right away. If you're waiting to feel motivated before fixing your money, it's never going to happen. Motivation is unreliable. Some days it shows up, most days it doesn't. And that's not your fault. Financial discipline isn't about being strong all the time. It's about setting things up so you don't need to be strong. Because real life is busy. You get tired, you lose focus, and willpower runs out fast. People who are good with money aren't more disciplined than you. They just built systems that work even on bad days, systems that remove decision-making, systems that make the right choice automatic. In this video, I'm going to show you how financial discipline actually works in real life, without motivation, without stress, and without pretending you'll suddenly become a different person. Why discipline fails for most people. Let's start with something honest. Most people don't lack discipline. They lack structure. They tell themselves, I just need to try harder next month. That sounds good, it feels responsible, and it fails almost every time. Why? Because financial discipline based on willpower is fragile. It only works when life is calm, and life is rarely calm. You get busy, you get tired, unexpected expenses show up, and suddenly, all those good intentions disappear. People who look disciplined with money are not fighting themselves every day. They're not constantly saying no. They've simply removed the need to make decisions over and over again. Discipline doesn't come from effort. It comes from design. The real goal, fewer decisions, not better decisions. Here's something most people miss. Every financial decision costs mental energy. What to spend, what to save, whether to invest now or later. Small decisions add up, and decision fatigue is real. When you're exhausted, stressed, or distracted, you default to what's easy, not what's smart. Financially disciplined people reduce decisions as much as possible. They don't wake up every day thinking about money. They set things up once, then let the system run. The fewer decisions you have to make, the more consistent your behavior becomes. Consistency beats intensity every single time. Why trying to budget usually doesn't work. Most people start with budgeting, and most people quit, not because budgeting is useless, but because it's usually done the wrong way. Traditional budgets require constant attention. You track everything. You check categories. You correct yourself every time you go off track. That's exhausting. After a few weeks, people stop checking. Then they stop caring. Then they feel guilty. And guilt never leads to discipline. Financial discipline improves when money is separated by purpose, not tracked obsessively. When spending money and saving money live in the same place, temptation is always present. You don't need more rules. You need better separation. The power of automation. If there's one habit that creates financial discipline without motivation, it's automation. When savings and investments happen automatically, discipline becomes invisible. There's no daily struggle, no emotional debate. No. Should I or shouldn't I? The decision was already made. People who automate their finances don't feel restricted. They feel normal, because the system adjusts their lifestyle naturally around what's left. Automation turns discipline into a background process, just like rent or utilities. You don't negotiate those every month. You plan around them. Money should work the same way. Why environment matters more than willpower. Most people underestimate how much their environment controls behavior. If your spending money is always easily accessible, you'll spend more. If saving requires extra steps, you'll save less. That's not weakness, that's human nature. Financially disciplined people design friction into bad habits and convenience into good ones. Savings accounts without debit cards, delayed access to investment funds. You make temptation inconvenient. Discipline comes from identity, not pressure. Here's a subtle but powerful shift. People who struggle financially often say, I'm bad with money. People who are disciplined think differently. They don't say, I'm trying to be good with money. They say, this is just how I manage money. That identity matters. When good financial behavior becomes part of how you see yourself, it stops feeling like effort. You don't need motivation to act in alignment with who you believe you are. Pressure creates short-term change. Identity creates long-term habits. Why small wins matter more than big rules. Most people aim too high, too fast. They want to overhaul everything. Cut all spending, save aggressively, invest perfectly. That usually lasts a few weeks. Financial discipline grows through small, repeatable wins, saving a manageable amount consistently, paying bills on time without stress, seeing progress month after month. Small wins build confidence. The quiet truth about financial discipline. Financial discipline isn't loud, it's not dramatic, and it's rarely visible. It looks like boring decisions made early, systems set once, and habits repeated without emotion. People think discipline is about control. It's really about removing chaos. When your money has structure, discipline follows automatically. No motivation required. How to build discipline that survives real life. Now let's talk about what actually makes financial discipline stick when life gets messy. Because it will. Unexpected expenses show up. Motivation disappears. Some months go completely off track. Disciplined people don't avoid these moments. They prepare for them. The key difference is this: they don't expect perfect behavior. Why you should stop relying on monthly resets. A lot of people treat money like a fresh start every month. This month I'll be better. This month I'll be disciplined. That thinking sounds positive, but it's fragile. Financially disciplined people don't rely on resets. They rely on continuity. One month flows into the next. Good months and bad months average out over time. Instead of saying, "I failed this month," the role of rules. Here's something surprising. People with strong financial discipline usually have very few rules, not dozens, not complicated spreadsheets, just a handful of clear principles. Things like savings happen first, fixed expenses stay below a certain level, debt doesn't increase unless it creates value. That's it. Too many rules create friction. Why tracking progress matters. Tracking money daily sounds disciplined. In reality, it often creates anxiety. Disciplined people zoom out. They check progress weekly or monthly, not to judge themselves, but to stay aware. Awareness keeps behavior aligned without pressure. Seeing progress, even small progress, reinforces good habits. It reminds you that what you're doing is working. Discipline grows when effort feels meaningful. What to do when discipline slips. Let's talk about the moment most people quit. You overspend, you miss a saving goal, you fall behind. Most people react emotionally. They feel guilty. Then they avoid their finances completely. That avoidance causes more damage than the mistake itself. Disciplined people respond differently. Why discipline feels easier over time. Here's the part no one tells you. Financial discipline gets easier, not because life gets simpler, but because habits replace effort. At first, everything feels intentional. You're aware of every decision. Over time, good behavior becomes automatic. You don't think about saving. It just happens. You don't debate spending. Limits are already built in. This is where people say, "You're so disciplined." What they don't see is that you stopped relying on discipline a long time ago. You built systems instead. The long-term payoff of financial discipline. Financial discipline doesn't just improve numbers, it changes how you feel. Less stress, more control, better sleep. You stop reacting to money and start directing it. Emergencies don't feel like disasters. Opportunities feel accessible instead of scary. And most importantly, you trust yourself. That trust compounds just like money does. The real definition of financial discipline. Financial discipline is not restriction, it's alignment. Your money starts supporting your priorities instead of fighting them. You're not forcing good behavior, you're making it the default. No motivation required, no constant effort, just structure doing the heavy lifting. If this helped you understand financial discipline in a more realistic way, support the video with a like. It helps this kind of practical, system-based content reach people who actually need it. Share it with someone who keeps blaming motivation when the real issue is structure. And subscribe for more clear, no-hype finance insights focused on building control, consistency, and long-term stability.